Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bug.
This is Jay Cee.
This is Flash.
This is Denny Hendricks.
And you're listening to
You're listening to
the Run and Gun Podcast.
All right, so what's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Run and Gun Podcast. I'm Jay Peeps.
And returning from a hiatus, I'm Jay Cee.
Yep, I hope you guys have enjoyed Dalton and Flash the past two episodes. It's glad to have Jay Cee back in the saddle. He's ready to roll, and he's going to give it to us. So before we get started, Jay Cee, how you been?
Oh, buddy, it's been a interesting round of time periods. I will say that. You ever read 3 books at the exact same time?
Never. I hope that day never comes, although it might be coming soon when I go to grad school.
It's getting dangerous out here.
I'm sure. It's been getting dangerous for a lot of reasons, but I'm going to talk about that when we finish the show. If this was another podcast that we had been invited to go to, then I would state why it's been so dangerous, but I'm not going to.
Am I invited yet?
I'm still trying to get clearance for that. I'm working on that.
I'm going to get kicked.
But you know what? All I'm going to say is once we venture off from the home front and we go to that other podcast, like you might actually end up getting kicked out. That might be the first time.
It might be the first time. It wouldn't be. I've been threatened on this podcast before, but it would definitely be the first time it actually happened.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. All publicity is good publicity. But let's get right into it.
All right.
Let's get right into it. We're going to kick it off with the NFL. And as we go through this, I'm going to get your NFL picks. So that's why we're going to start off with the NFL. So first thing is, you know, is the Bucs land Antonio Brown. And the first thing that's been said is by Bruce Arians, if Antonio Brown messes up so much, if even the slightest mess up, Antonio Brown is gone. So how do you feel about this?
It's the right move to say. Okay, like, I mean, act up, get gone. Like, I can agree with that principle. I honestly think, believe in that principle when it comes to certain things. For example, the way he's acting, yes, you know, for protest, no. But honestly, I feel like it's a very good move. But I mean, there's bound to be trouble because you have so much talent on that offensive side.
Tis true. I think, honestly, I've asked the question the first time when it actually happened. I was like, you know, how much complaining and how long did Brady stay in Bruce Arians' ear about this? How long? Because that's my thing. I'm like, because Bruce Arians had already said it a while ago. He ain't coming here. And now Tom Brady's probably complained enough to the point where, you know what, it's going to happen. And so when the Bucs finally gave in, they structured it to the way of, you know what, if he messes up, we don't owe him anything except what he's done while he's been playing for us.
I mean, listen. It's been said multiple times as a joke, but also seriously. Tampa Bay, right?
Yes.
I mean, he's a big part of the organization now, especially since they decided to pay him. All right. And so, I mean, you just have to live with it. He's going to complain. He's going to expect things the way he wants them. So you're going to have to live with it now.
Right. And, you know, that's the thing. That's the one thing I will say that I trust. I trust Tom Brady making these decisions, truthfully, a little bit more than the GM, because Tom Brady knows what it takes to get to a Super Bowl and win it. But this one right here, I gotta wait to see it. Antonio Brown's going to be eligible to play against the Saints on Sunday night. So it could end up being a coming out party. It could end up being, something where we ease him on into the offense.
Well, I'm actually waiting on the crash and burn of this team. I think it'll be pretty interesting. I think it has the potential to be like one of those. This is apples to oranges, but the Celtics.
Oh, you're talking about the 2008 Celtics?
No, actually, I'm talking about the current Celtics. But you know what? The 2008 Celtics work also. I'm just waiting on this growth of talent. And now this is one of the most extremely talented offenses in the NFL now. I'm waiting on this extreme, massive growth of talent that hasn't really been raised together as a catchword. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they weren't drafted, most of them, not all of them, but a lot of them weren't drafted there. A lot of them were signed there, and a lot have been signed in the past year.
Well, I would say this: Tom Brady was signed there. Fournette was signed there. Shady McCoy was signed here. Gronk was signed here.
Gronk.
I already named Gronk. Well, and then also Antonio Brown.
Yep.
And Sue was also signed here. JPP was signed here about 3 years ago, so I don't know if that really counts.
That doesn't count for me. I'm not counting that.
All right. Well, you got 6 guys out of the majority of the stronghold of the team.
Now, hold on. Now, that right there, right? Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to say that if something were to happen, I don't really wish it to happen, but I think it'd be hilarious. I'm seeing some kind of
I see the crash and burn
between these older players, right? Who nobody wants to get old and have their star burn out. Who want the ball, and then you have these younger dudes like Godwin, Evans,
right?
Who want the ball because they burning, they hot, they stars.
Now, funny thing you say that. Godwin only had 2 catches, but the other thing in the last game against the Raiders, like 2 or 3 catches. But the funny thing about it was Evans had been getting double teamed and, everything. They're doing all they can to keep him from getting the ball, which is opening it up for a lot of other guys. But now, see, when AB comes in and you play against the Saints, a team that has constantly gotten in the head of Mike Evans and Donovan Smith in particular, what's going to happen? That's what I want to know now.
I think it'll be interesting to see. Will either vice versa happens when the younger dudes who are hot open up things for the older dudes, will the older dudes open up things for the younger dudes? I think it's interesting to see what that vice versa is, because we know what every talent group on this offense can possibly do.
Right. So with that, let me ask you this now. Who's truthfully the best team in the NFC right now? Is it the Bucks, the Saints? I'm not the Bucks. Is it the Bucks, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Rams, or the Saints?
The Pittsburgh Steelers. No, I'm playing.
I was saying NFC. NFC.
I'm just kidding. Pittsburgh ain't the best nowhere, but we'll get to that shit when we get there. Honestly, for the one fact of who he is, I'm gonna have to go with Russ and the Seattle Seahawks. Now, this is not a fan opinion, although I would like to be. I just think that the ability of Russell Wilson does put his team over any other team in the NFC. And I say that
Okay.
despite what happened with the Cardinals in that overtime,
Right.
which should also tell you anybody how good he actually is.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it's a wonder out there. But I think the second best is probably the Bucks, just off strength of talent.
I like the Bucks defense. Honestly, it reminds me of the old days. So I would truthfully say the Bucks. Not even being a fan, I would say honestly it's probably the Bucks because it's like the most stacked team right now. Like honestly, to be honest, my NFC Championship prediction is the Bucks and the Seahawks. I would love for that. I don't even care where it is, whether it's in Seattle or if it's here in Tampa. I really don't.
I think it'd be really interesting to see that. But you know what? As much as I've harped on the Bucks for the past few years, that defense has been sneakily getting better.
Exactly.
It's been
exactly,
sneaky.
and it's crazy because you have so many secondary guys that don't even start that could start and still be successful.
It's been very sneaky with the Bucks. Like if you're, it took me to have to do this. You have to go and look. You have the stats, and everything like that. Like they have Levante David, but Levante David is about the biggest dude on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, other than Sue, who they signed, but Levante David is like the biggest star on that team.
Stop sleeping on Levante David. Thank you.
Exactly. But if you look at them stats, they've been a pretty formidable team. Now, granted, they've had their issues in the secondary, which always maligned them. But if you look, especially at that front seven's been really good the past few years.
Exactly. It was top 5 last year.
But a lot of people
they held Derrick Henry to 60 yards.
But a lot of people don't know that. You have to think about it. A lot of people are thinking about, the Rams got Aaron Donald, right? They got, they're thinking about a lot of defenses like the Texans, J.J. Watt.
Right.
They think about the Steelers, T.J. Watt. They think about all these other things. But Tampa Bay's been slowly kind of building a juggernaut over there.
Exactly. And I truthfully think, because I've felt for the longest. Now we all know the Bucs are going to kill the Giants on Monday Night Football, but I've always felt honestly, whoever won the first game between the Bucs and New Orleans was going to lose the second game. So I'm really starting to feel like Tampa Bay is going to win the second game on Sunday night next weekend.
I'm honestly not really worried about the Saints because. I mean, you can already tell from my fantasy league, I've almost given up on Drew Brees.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just it's so much because like this is like the third straight week where we're not going to see Emmanuel Sanders and on the field at the same time. I don't know if that's because they play a huge division game next Sunday night or not, but I mean it's kind of starting to worry me now about the Saints.
I really think the injury bug has slapped them, but I don't think Drew Brees is at his best anymore.
He's not.
And I believe the same thing about Tom Brady, but Tom Brady has the difference of weapons.
Yes.
Granted, they have Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah, okay, but he hasn't been on the field with Michael Thomas.
Exactly. Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Thomas. They got a fast. I forget that guy's name. He's number 11 for the Saints.
And they have Kamara.
Yeah, they have Kamara. They got Latavius Murray. They've got Taysom Hill, who's like their Swiss Army knife. They've got
Taysom Hill. Don't you mention his name to me again.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. They got what's his name? They've got what's his name too. They've got Jared Cook at tight end. Like,
but I don't know. The talent level to me, there's just a difference between that high tier talent in Tampa and that high tier talent in New Orleans. It's just the amount.
I agree.
Like if somebody were to go down in Tampa, you wouldn't be like, well, crap. You just be like, okay, well, we got about 30 other dudes who've all been stars. We got them, you know?
Right. I agree. So with that, let me ask you now, who's the best team in the AFC right now?
The Pittsburgh
The Steelers, the Chiefs, the Colts, the Titans, or the Ravens, or somebody else?
I got three teams.
Okay.
They're all tied.
Okay.
The Chiefs.
Okay. I feel that.
Patrick Mahomes, that offense.
Right.
The Ravens.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
That defense.
Yes.
And here's my dark horse. The Titans.
Cleveland Browns. Oh, okay. Titans. I was about to say, he about to say Cleveland Browns.
Heck no. I'm still not saying on Cleveland yet.
Understandable.
They got me sipping the Kool-Aid. I won't lie.
I believe the Titans are like the number one. No, they're the number 2 seed in the AFC. Like if the playoffs were to happen today, they'd be number 2. But I like what I'm seeing from. I'm going to go ahead and list my top 3. I like the Chiefs, the Steelers, and the Titans. Baltimore, to me, I like them, but there's just some things I got to see. I need to see Lamar Jackson be able to hit multiple guys consistently. Like I'm starting to notice with Lamar Jackson that he's hitting Mark Andrews more than anybody else. So I need him to be able to spread the ball consistently. I need him to be able to hit Hollywood Brown and then be able to hit Willie Snead, even though Willie Snead's like a blocking receiver. And then I need to see Mark Ingram go off even more. The defense is already there.
That's what you need to – hold on. I'm about to jump you right now. Hold on. That's what you need to see, but you picked the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Pittsburgh right now just feels like a more complete team to me because their defense is playing well. They did a better job of shutting down Derrick Henry than Baltimore did.
If I'm going to pick Pittsburgh, I need Pittsburgh to show me that they can win against a really good team.
They did that already. They beat the Titans.
The Titans. Everybody else on their schedule, bad.
Fair enough. And we're going to find out this weekend because luckily Pittsburgh plays Baltimore. I expect Baltimore to win the game, but I would not be surprised if the Ravens kind of got outmatched.
For me to accept them and be like that's a horse I'd back. I need to see them beat good teams, like more than just the Titans, because the Titans are my dark horse.
Mm-hmm.
It's bound to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I need to see them beat a Kansas City or some other good teams in the AFC. I need to see them beat.
Let me see. Does Pittsburgh play Kansas here? Yes, the Steelers beat the daylights out of the Browns already.
Yeah,
30.
That's the question.
They play. Okay, so they do not play the Chiefs this year, but the Steelers play. As far as good teams, they play Baltimore. They play the Bills. They play the Colts, and they play the Browns again. And that's about it, really. They probably won't see the Chiefs until the playoffs.
Easy schedule.
True.
So if they make the playoffs, then we're going to finally see what they're made of.
Yeah, we won't know what they really have until they get into the playoffs. We really won't. Now, Baltimore, on the other hand, I would say, is kind of the same way because Baltimore does not play the Chiefs this year either. Baltimore plays the Titans, the Steelers, the Browns, and really that's truthfully it as far as competition. So it is fairly easy for the Ravens too. But the one team that the Ravens lost to was the Chiefs, and they lost 7-14.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as the year progresses and once we get to the playoffs, we won't really know what Baltimore has either.
That is true, but to me, Baltimore is a more proven team for now.
I'll give you that. I mean, they were division champs, what, past 2 years?
2?
Past 2 or 3 years.
I don't think that's right.
How many? Wait, they won the division.
I think it's 1.
The Raven? Yeah, let me think about this.
But I think it's 1.
Okay, let's see. So the Ravens have won the AFC North the past 2 years, so 2018 and 2019.
Well, I have been proven wrong.
All right, so that's fair enough. Okay, but yeah, so we'll see what both Pittsburgh and Baltimore are made of this weekend, and then again when they play in the playoffs.
Absolutely. That'll be interesting to see.
Definitely. But two more things before we jump off the NFL and go into college ball. Oh, we got to get your picks in too. What do you make of the Dallas Cowboys? Nobody came to defend Andy Dalton after that gruesome hit because he's now been listed as doubtful for Sunday. Well, I mean, honestly, you need to just downgrade him to out because he ain't playing with a concussion. But what do you make of that? No one came to defend him.
I mean, I don't think Mike McCarthy is a super great coach, but I think Mike McCarthy is a big boy coach. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. He's a coach who I could see coaching like an extremely experienced team.
Yes, like Green Bay was.
I don't think I could see him coaching the Dallas Cowboys, who need a fire him up, buy him in type of coach.
Right.
I mean, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But he might get fired this year.
Dan, you think he's gonna be a one and done?
I mean, the way that these players are acting and the injuries going on, I don't think Jerry Jones really understands the complexities of his teams going on. Because if he would have known that, he would have never hired Mike McCarthy anyway.
Right. I mean, to me, it's like I feel like, and see, here's the thing. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm glad Dak secured the bag, but I think Dak needs to go ahead and move on from the Dallas Cowboys. But see, a lot of people were saying,
I thought he didn't.
I'm not sure.
He got franchised.
I know. Yeah, but I know he's getting paid. I know he's getting paid for this season still. But I think Dak needs to move on, honestly.
Absolutely.
And go somewhere else.
And you know what? I know the Cowboys are definitely not going to pay him now that he had this ankle injury.
Exactly.
So he might as well go find yourself a good team, young man.
Exactly.
Go exactly. Tampa got a lot of shit. Tom Brady ain't going to be there forever.
So you think he should sit behind Tom Brady for a few years?
Just one? I mean, tell me, do you think Tom Brady's going to last 3 years?
I could see Tom Brady doing 3 years. 4 is a stretch, but I could see him doing 3.
I could see him doing 2.
He's signed for 2.
I could see him doing 2.
Understandable.
If anything. And then eventually, old man Tom, listen, you do not want to pay no top quarterback pay a quarterback top dollar who is, how old is he going to be, 45 or something?
He's 43 now. By the time he finishes his second contract up, I think he'll be knocking the door on 46.
I mean, Do you want to pay top dollar for a nearly 46-year-old quarterback?
No.
Even if it's Tom Brady.
You're right.
I mean, listen, if they told me Joe Montana was coming out, I wouldn't sign him.
You got a point. You're right. I feel you.
All respect to Joe Montana. All respect.
I feel that.
Let me say that. But I'm not paying him top dollar.
Right. Now, I would see my thing with Dallas is, it's just they put themselves in such a deep hole now with this that I don't know how they climb out of it. I see them having a top 5 pick. I feel bad for Zeke because Zeke is so relied upon to do everything that it's so hard.
Absolutely. I mean, it's unfortunate for especially him, seeing as he signed that long-term deal.
Right.
It's very rough because it's going to be a rough couple of years, I think, for the Cowboys.
Oh, of course. And see, one of our followers on Twitter said, you know what, Jerry Jones needs to try to sign Kaepernick. I was like, ain't no way.
Ain't no way.
No way. Jerry Jones, of all people, would ever sign Colin Kaepernick.
I think we hear about Jerry Jones lynching Colin Kaepernick before he'd ever sign.
Right. You're right.
As a matter of speaking, I know I said that very roughly, of course.
Yeah, I don't see it. But also the other thing too in the NFL this weekend is Tua is making his first NFL start against a pretty talented Rams defense. They benched Fitzpatrick, and Tua's going to start his first game this weekend. The Rams played a pretty good game on Monday Night Football against the Bears. And now Tua has to face that very same defense with Aaron Donald and company. So I don't know how to feel about this. I could see this going two ways. I see Tua playing very well and keeping it close and not being taken out. And I can see Tua struggling and Fitzmagic having to come in and save the
day. Listen, don't start your rookie quarterback off like this. That's rough.
It's too late now. They already said he's going to start tomorrow.
That's rough. I mean, come on. That's rough. Even if the Rams are the Rams, that's rough.
I would have picked another team to start him against. I'd have said start him against the Jets.
Yeah, start him against the Jets or something. Not them. Not the Rams.
Because this is a tough task you're asking now. Because what do you do when he starts struggling? And what do you do if fans start booing and talk about we want Fitz and stuff? Like what do you do? And then Brian Flores. Exactly. And then you're going to look stupid, Brian Flores, because you put this young boy in there and you put him against one of the best defenses with probably one of the best players, probably the best player in the NFL on defense, chasing him down.
It's a dangerous concept. I will say that. But, I mean, I guess you live and you learn, right? So they're going to have to live and learn. And they're going to have to live and learn. And we're going to see what happens.
'Tis true. And I'm going to get your NFL picks at the end of this podcast. But now,
The bug is coming. The bug is coming.
It's time for trivia with the bug.
Hello, everyone. Again, this is the bug, and I have sports trivia for you. And my sports trivia question is for everyone: who is or was the first player in NFL history to rush for 1,000 yards?
And that's the bug's trivia question. His trivia question again was, for those that didn't hear it, I'm gonna say it again. Who's the first player in NFL history to rush for 1,000 yards?
Oh, this is old.
Yes. And did you happen to catch the trivia question from the last episode?
I did not. You want to hit me with it?
So the one from the last episode was, I believe this was the episode. Out of the 26 quarterbacks in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, how many of them don't have any rings or championships?
Ooh.
I asked Flash about this. Flash was like, yes, this is very hard.
Jim Kelly.
That's one. Dan Marino.
Is Johnny Unitas in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, he is.
Then he won one. Hold on. I'm doing my math now. My math.
Fran Tarkenton is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I believe. Yes, Fran Tarkenton is in the Hall of Fame. So that's 3 guys right there. Jim Kelly, Dan Marino, Fran Tarkenton. That's 3. Because Fran Tarkenton played in the Super Bowl.
Warren Moon.
Is Warren Moon in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
He is. Okay. Yep, class of 2006. Okay, that's 4.
I feel like there's 2 more I'm missing.
Keep going.
Not him. Oh, dang it. Played with the Chargers. Dan Fouts.
Yes.
That's all I got. That's all I got. Where were you at? 5? I got 5.
And that is the answer.
Really?
Yes, that's the correct answer. The correct answer is 5 quarterbacks out of the 26. Out of the 26 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame right now, only 5 of them never won a Super Bowl. So Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, Fran Tarkenton, Dan Fouts, and Warren Moon were the 5 guys.
So I'm going to ask you this question now, because now
okay.
This. 2 questions, actually.
Okay.
Is Phillip Rivers a Hall of Fame quarterback?
First ballot, definitely not. But he will get in someday. I don't know what day that will be, but he will get in someday.
Okay. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Fame quarterback?
First ballot, no, but he will also get in someday.
I can live with those answers.
That's all I'm gonna say. Because I mean, it's the same type of argument for Dan Marino. Dan Marino retired in 2000 or 1999.
I can live with those answers. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. I'm trying to see you. Dan Marino. Yeah, Dan Marino won the Hall of Fame in 2005. He retired in 2000. So I mean, it was a little while. Oh yeah, no. Okay, so Dan Marino got in on his first year of eligibility, but also too, the thing you have to remember about Dan Marino is Dan Marino shattered.
I was about to say Dan Marino's light.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. See, Dan Marino shattered like a ton of records when like he was in Miami. So that's the reason being for Dan Marino being the first ballot Hall of Famer. But also now that's going to transition us into college football now. And the crazy thing that just happened, by the way, is Texas just beat Oklahoma State in overtime.
You're kidding me.
Dead serious. 41-34. Texas has taken down Oklahoma State inside of Boone Pickens Stadium.
Sheesh. Also,
Everybody's talking about Tom Herman being on the hot seat, and Tom Herman is literally like saving his job right now.
Also, pop culture reference: Sean Connery has died.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sad day.
It's crazy.
It really is. But also crazy things that have happened today elsewhere. So we all know about Trevor Lawrence testing positive for COVID. He has left a cliffhanger as to whether or not he would return to Clemson in 2021. That goes to show you how much he doesn't want to play for the Jets.
I think it depends on who gets the first pick. I'm very interested.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to see this too because I feel like if it's the Jets, he's coming back.
Yeah,
but if it's like,
you never know because somebody might make a trade. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
That's true too. Because I feel like honestly, like the way they look right now, Dallas could get the first pick. Who else is there?
And I feel like Dallas would definitely take that pick.
Yeah. Then you also got Atlanta. If you bring them back home to the state of Georgia,
I don't know if Atlanta would do it.
But see, the other thing too is Arthur Blank said he's not going to commit to Matt Ryan long term.
Really?
Really. That happened right after Dan Quinn was fired.
Well, we shall see indeed. This will be interesting.
Yep. The other thing too is Dabo said Trevor Lawrence will not play next week against Notre Dame. So that kind of leaves me worrying a little bit. You know, you go to Notre Dame, you can't leave it in the officials' hands. You got a quarterback that looked okay today. He didn't look good. And you got to go play Notre Dame on the road.
I mean, listen, they're supposed to wait 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah.
And depending on the time that they actually found out that he tested positive, I think that actually happens during the week thing.
True. So I mean, a couple of experts will say they still trust Clemson to beat Notre Dame, but honestly, I said it back when we were doing preseason breakdowns before the season even started. I figured Clemson wouldn't win the first meeting between these two, and I said this was going to be the ACC championship, and that Clemson was going to beat Notre Dame the second time around and get to the playoff. So I mean, this is kind of happening right on time, which is crazy. But the other thing that happened too is LSU got destroyed by Auburn this week. LSU lost 48-11.
Are we actually surprised?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, honestly, you want to know what's crazy? There's a lot of strikingly close comparisons between LSU, like 2019 LSU and 2010 Auburn.
Once they lost everybody, yeah.
Like it's crazy. Like I mean, like someone said, you know, when was the last time a defending national champion got beat down this bad? And I was like, Georgia beat Auburn 45-7 back in 2011 after they won a national championship. So I mean, it wasn't that long ago. And then the other thing too that really wasn't a surprise, but it was kind of surprising because you expected them to win. Jim Harbaugh and Michigan lose to Michigan State today.
They did?
They did. They lost by like 10 points.
Damn it. Everybody was saying that it was going to happen, but I was trusting. I knew I shouldn't trust Harbaugh.
I figured, I was like, you know what? Maybe Harbaugh's for real this time. Maybe it's turning the corner. I can't trust this man. Like Jim Harbaugh is now 1-6 at home against Michigan State and Ohio State since taking over. But at the same time, he's 29-0 against everyone else at home.
Interesting.
So, like, it's just. Let me ask you this. Do you think that he needs to – do you think he'll still be the coach at Michigan in 2 years?
That's a loaded question.
I'm not going to say next year because, he might get a little grace period because of who he is. But I'm going to say, in 2 years.
It depends. I say it depends. What's the coach market at the time?
What do you mean?
I think it depends on what coaches are available.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you mean. Honestly, that's another thing you got to put up in the air. I would say
it's actually funny that despite all of this, he's still one of the best coaches.
It is. But see, the thing is that people need to understand, if you want to compete for championships especially come out of the Big Ten and go to the playoff, who do you got to beat? Who do you have to beat?
The entire conference? Ohio State.
Exactly. If you want to win the Big Ten and have a chance for playing for the playoff in the Big Ten championship, you have to beat Ohio State. And he has that.
I will say Ohio State and the rest of the conference, because the rest of the conference deserves a mention, because this is the reason why they don't usually have a lot of people qualify. They beat up on each other.
But see, here's the thing, though.
Even Ohio at home, State can take a loss or two.
At home, here's the thing. At home, he beats everybody. He beats everybody when he brings them home. When he gets them at home, he beat up on a pretty decent, what we thought was a decent Minnesota team. He's done it before. Even in 2016, in year 2, he had his team rolling. He beat up on everybody. Got to Ohio State, couldn't get the job done. And they would have gotten the playoff.
The conference is a hurdle indeed.
It is.
But Ohio State is that final hurdle.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
And it's always the one at the end, and it's always going to be the one at the end. And unless he can win that game, he ain't going to the playoffs.
I can fully agree with that.
So I mean, that's my thing about it. You got to be able to win that game. But also too, tonight, Florida returned to practice this week. They're playing Missouri right now as we speak. They are currently without 3 of their top DBs tonight.
Yeah, I'm keeping track of the score. Apparently, it's 6-0, Florida.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, so Florida will be okay for now. For now, Florida's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be quite interesting.
Tis indeed. It is indeed.
It is. Also, so 2 HBCUs have opted out of the spring season already. And I'm gonna roll this into FAMU here soon. So Bethune-Cookman has opted out of the 2021 MEAC spring football season. And honestly, I'm going to be real with you. I don't blame them.
I would too.
Exactly. I really don't blame them at all. Now,
don't make sense, honestly.
It really doesn't. And with that, I can now roll this into FAMU. So I showed you the MEAC schedule for FAMU when they released it. The deadline to opt out is November 18th. So if most of the teams in the MEAC South division, which consist of South Carolina State, at the time Bethune-Cookman, FAMU, and A&T, all play each other twice to an extent. So FAMU is going to play Bethune-Cookman twice and South Carolina State twice, which I just feel like was very murderous.
How do you even sell those games?
Exactly. And then the other thing too is with 2 bye weeks, the 2 bye weeks are generous, but you've got like an SEC West type vibe going, SEC West type vibe, NFC South or NFC West type vibe going on down there in the MEAC South.
But you know what? To me, it's selling a schedule with no appeal. Because what are you selling them? What, they just play teams, two of the same teams, during the season?
Exactly. Like,
that's uninteresting to people.
Exactly. And then like even some alumni have even said, it kind of takes away the flair of the Florida Classic rivalry, because it was supposed to be set where, they were going to play one game in Daytona and one game in Tallahassee. But the other thing, too, is you have to memorize this. People want to come to this game. God willing, you have a vaccine by then. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to
people in Florida. It's always like, yeah, I got tickets to the Classic.
Exactly. And God willing, with this virus, I'm going to let people be skeptical and assume what they want is going to happen by then. But like, where were you going to have this game at if it was going to land when it goes to Daytona? Where were you going to play this game? Because Municipal Stadium, which was really home to last year's State of Florida High School Football Championships, is not going to hold the March 100. A lot of Florida A&M faithful, and then the Bethune-Cookman fans that actually decided to show up only for the Classic. That was not going to work. And then you don't know what's going to happen with Daytona International Speedway, because NASCAR's schedule has been knocked off because of the virus. So you don't know when the Daytona 500 is going to happen. You know what I mean?
It's very interesting. I think like I said before my little hiatus, I think we're seeing the dying breath of the MEAC here.
You really are. You really are.
And you're seeing why. It's just not monetarily sound.
Exactly. And oh my gosh, you sound just like so many people that are on Twitter right now that have just ripped this whole schedule to shreds. Now, give or take, the coaches and the players have stated, you know what, we want to play and we're anxious to play. And look, that, like I said, that's fine, because who am I to say you shouldn't play? All I'm going to say is, look, I'm a health sciences major. And a lot of health experts before the season even started said spring was not a good idea because of the turnaround and because of what you're asking to be done in one calendar year, and the fact that these guys are not getting paid.
I mean, you won't say it, but bump it. I'll say it. Don't play. Please. Don't do that. Don't put yourselves through that. 1, 2, just ask the NCAA for an extra year eligibility. I'm pretty sure
they're already getting an extra year of eligibility.
Then don't play. Don't do yourself like that.
Exactly. Like, I understand we all want to see a conference championship come home and all of that, and you want to do the whole let's win 2 conferences in 1 calendar year type thing. But is it really worth it? Because my mindset with this is I'm not going to kill myself in the spring when it's really hot in Florida at that. It's hotter in Florida during the spring and the summer than it is during the fall. I'm not going to kill myself for really what is now, honestly, 4 games, maybe 6 if they find somebody else. I'm not going to kill myself for 6 games knowing I'm going into a very motivated, a newly found motivated in the fall, where I got to go and compete against, in the first game, Deion Sanders in Jackson State, and then I got to go possibly to Southern and play Southern, plus the possibility of another Sweet West team. And then on top of that, a Bethune-Cookman team over 2 that I haven't beaten in 9 years, that I got to see at the end of the season. I'm just not doing it. But again, who am I to say, Go ahead and play.
This is extremely cynical of us, but we're just sports podcasters here. Who are we to say anything?
Exactly. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut, let it play out. Like I said, I don't. If we have a vaccine by then, the theorists, conspiracy theorists, and so-called experts, as far as health goes, assume what you may about the vaccine that may be here by the election or by New Year's. Go ahead and assume that. But I just say, don't do it for your own health and safety. But anyway, that's what's slated to go down. But now on to Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball, the season is coming past. So for the first time since 1988, the Dodgers have taken home the World Series. So congratulations to the Dodgers.
All of the Rays fans want to fight Kevin Cash now.
How could you not? He did the dumbest thing to Blake Snell.
You pulled your ace in the hole.
9 strikeouts, only 2 hits through 5 innings, and you pulled him? Why?
You pulled your ace in the hole, and it was doing ace in the hole things.
It doesn't
make sense.
You were winning 1-0. He only let 2 guys get on base the whole night. You were winning 1-0. You were possibly going to add some more insurance pending, because once you took him out, the momentum shifted. I didn't understand that.
He should have known as soon as he walked out to that mound that the Dodgers were cheering.
The series was over at that point.
The Dodgers were cheering over there. And as soon as he saw that, he should have been like, bump the analytics, keep this dude in the game, because they scared of him right now.
Exactly. And then you would have had Charlie Morton going out there to pitch in Game 7. It's crazy, I tell you. It's crazy. Because now, see, this is the first time since 1988 that the Dodgers and the Lakers have both won championships. So kudos to the city of LA, city of Tampa. They've already got a Stanley Cup. We'll see what happens with the Super Bowl. But, I just don't get Kevin Cash. I don't get it. Oh my gosh.
And what I read, he's a very analytical manager. He's not necessarily a feel of the game kind of guy.
That's true.
So the analytics say once you go through the rotation twice, pull the pitcher.
Right. I mean, and he hasn't been wrong, which is why his team was in the World Series.
But it's the World Series.
That's true too.
The final game, your man has allowed no runs, only 2 hits, 9 strikeouts.
Yep.
Let the boy pitch.
Yep. You're right.
I mean, hell, everybody's seen a baseball movie, 1 or 2 in their life. Let the boy pitch. He pitching lights out to keep y'all in this.
Exactly. And he was pissed when he had to come out. He was pissed. I really don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. But the thing that worries me with the Rays is a lot of people are going to say, this team isn't going anywhere, and I hope they're right. But again, we said that last time back in 2008. And what happened? It's been 12 years since we last saw them in a World Series.
It's been blow up time every year for some reason.
Well, you got to understand too, their payroll is not the highest.
They're the lowest, actually.
They are. Mookie Betts, I think, makes about as much as the entire Rays roster in 1 year. Because I think the Rays payroll was like $28 million. Mookie Betts is making that in 1 year.
I think I'm pretty sure the way champions are being good works is now you got to pay everybody.
That's true. I think, somehow, some way the Rays have got to increase their payroll and get the guys that they really want to come here.
I think they're good with the guys they have. What they need to pick up is their hitting.
And I agree. I will definitely agree with that. Because it was like something about it towards the end of that Houston series, like about game 5, game 6 of the Houston series, you kind of saw the Braves bats kind of go away. And they never came back. And they still almost forced a game 7 in the World Series with no bats against a team that was basically like two out magicians.
I mean, geez, the hitting lineup for the Dodgers is just insane.
It is. And it was like every time they got 2 outs, you knew somebody was about to get a run. It was insane. I've never seen nothing like that before. I've always heard of 1-out rallies and stuff and no-out rallies, but I've never heard of like a consistent 2-out rally for like multiple games. It's insane. But
had to take a moment to pause right there, like sheesh.
I know it's crazy.
But we're getting close to our time, aren't we? We gotta keep up.
We are, and with that, before we get out of here tonight, we're going to hit on a few of these NFL games for this weekend.
I'll shoot you my picks.
Nah. We got you on here now.
What you mean? I'll send it to you. I got them right here. I just like to meditate them on until midnight.
Nah. We gonna do these. Fine. You know what? Here's what we can do. We can either leave the people wanting more, or we can drop it on them now.
We could leave them wanting more. They need to see it anyway.
Okay, fair enough. So you're gonna send me these right after we get off
here? Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I am.
All right. Okay. We'll do that. So with that, that's going to do it for us, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Ring and Gun Podcast. I'm Jay Peeps.
I'm Jay Cee, and I lied.
Oh, good. He lied, so we can still do this. All right.
I'm leaving. I got to go. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at Penalty Talk, Instagram, Throw Flags, Twitter at Penalty Talk. Our email, flagonthePlaySports@gmail.com. Our YouTube, Penalty Talk. And if anybody's curious about my golfing, I named my camera stand putter Charlene, and I found that hustler model.
Wow, Charlene, he dug deep for that. He went to one of them old Charlie Wilson songs to find that.
I named a putter Charlene, and
is she coming on home to you?
Yes.
Oh wow, he really dug deep for this.
You know what? I got it from a Charlie Wilson song and The Simpsons pop culture reference.
Wow! Oh my goodness! But yeah, like he said, follow us on all those avenues. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. We will see you on the next episode. Also, make sure you vote.
Oh, don't forget to vote.
Make sure you vote.
And if they're pushing you a vaccine, don't take it on the first day. And always read your contracts. Shout out Lil Wayne.
Y'all stay safe and y'all stay safe. Take care. Y'all stay blessed.